Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. We're coming at you with another incredible annual, and as we're starting to think about what we're going to plant in the spring season, we need to talk about some things that will do really well in your garden no matter what zone you're in. And this in front of me is one of those very annuals. This is Supertunia Bubblegum, and for those of you who have planted this before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you who've never planted it before, let me just tell you a little bit about this very plant right here in front of you. 2 years ago, this is the start of the third season, this plant was purchased. Now the cool thing about this is I had 2 extra grande size containers, and I just had an extra garden pot from planting, I think, some of my boxwoods. And I just thought I'll just stick those in there and it'll mound over and it'll look beautiful and make a statement in the backyard, because you know we always want to use our extra plants where we can. And it has been extremely hardy. I mean, as you can tell, I cut this one way back early in January, and it's already just like completely going nuts as if it were just planted this season as a new plant. If you can tell, those stems, and I'll give you a close-up of that, those stems are extremely thick. They almost have a little bit of that purplish color to them, and the blooms are just as vibrant as they were the first year I planted it, which is absolutely incredible. So the reason why I want to talk about this one is because this plant in particular, among all petunias, I feel is the strongest, most vigorous, most incredible annual that you can plant in your garden that will give you the biggest show for just a few plants. Like, you would probably only have to plant maybe 4 or 5 of these in this garden behind me where I have my Nemesia here, for it to completely cover the entire thing and probably even trail out into the grass. It's that robust and it's that strong of a plant, which is really cool. And a couple years ago, if you haven't seen that video yet, I'll give you a little clip right now. As you can tell in the front, when I planted this, there were, spaced pretty adequately, but then over time, they just went nuts. Now, the only thing that these plants really need throughout the season is obviously water-soluble fertilizer, a lot of sun, probably, I would say, 4 to 5 hours a day or more, or even all day long. That would even be better, because that's what they need to gather up the energy to put on these massive blooms. Like this one's just about to head into that time right now where it's going to be totally covered in blooms. We've been exceptionally cold this year, a lot of extra rain, which we've needed, just like a lot of parts of the country. So it hasn't had as much sun as it's going to have, hopefully coming up here in April and May, but that's what it needs. And you can also spray this with BT or Captain Jack's organic pesticide to control budworms, because like Calibrachoa, which are super bells in my garden, and any kind of petunia or Supertunia in this case, it does curb those budworms from taking over and decimating all the blooms. If you do that, then you are guaranteed to have a great season of blooms with this beautiful plant in your garden. So this is actually from the Vista series of Proven Winners. Any of the Supertunia Vistas are going to do really well and create a giant show and really cover a lot of space with just a few plants. And I've tried many of those varieties, but this variety in particular is the most vigorous, the most spreading of any of them. So if you want to give it a try and you want to have a show of pink in your garden, try Supertunia Vista Bubblegum, guys. Honestly, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. So anyways, that's what we got going, and I just wanted to share another review with you of what plants have done well in our garden, because like I said before, we have that spring season coming up, and as you're going to your garden centers, or if you even want to order from Proven Winners online, you might want to give this one a try, because I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you so much for also those nice comments, and we will see you next time in another video. Until then, bye-bye everybody.